Hi everyone, it's Killshot 99 Gaming's The Walking Dead Season 8 breaking news and updates live stream from March 2nd, 2018. What is up, everybody? This is the end of the week, and it has been a week. It's just been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different, pulled in a lot of different directions, I guess the only way to say it. So tonight, we did this last Friday for the first time, had a lot of fun doing it. It's just taking a whole group of news that's out there and putting it in one place, just talking about it a little bit. So I'm not going to cite a whole bunch of stories. They're out there if you want to find them. I will, give you where they're at. I'm not going to, put a footnote at the bottom of the page. We're just going to talk about it because I don't want you guys to have to dig around and find a whole bunch of information when we can just consolidate, throw a couple ideas out there, put our own spin on it, and then, get some interesting conversation topics. So that's what we're here to do. I got a lot of good stuff tonight. Before we get into tonight's stream, I want to thank everybody for coming in. We just have an amazing group of people, an amazing connection, an awesome family on the 99 Gaming channel and then the Facebook page. One of our subscribers and someone's a member of the Facebook page, his mother passed away a couple days ago and was a big Walking Dead fan, and I did say that I would give a shout out to his mom, Peggy Sawa, and just want to say, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, and we're a very tight-knit group, and I'm here to give whatever support and pay whatever respect that we possibly can. So just want to say that. All right, everybody, we're going to get to tonight's stream, and once again, I appreciate all of you guys being here. Everybody, here to talk about some of the news that's out there. I'm going to get right into it because there's been rumors floating around. Okay, Carl is gone, but now there's rumors floating around of who the next person that's going to leave is, and I do want to say that Rick's name keeps coming up, and it's because Kirkman says he's not going to last forever, and now they're trying to diffuse rumors of Rick leaving the show. So I'm going to tie back into people that could potentially leave the show, but you know what the news and the different media outlets like to do is they like to jump on negative news. So I'm going to give you the negative news as far as ratings, because ratings is it's a topic of conversation. So Season 6, we're not going to hide from this, 13.1 million people watched the mid-season premiere. Season 7, 11.3 million, and this season was only 8.3 million. It was down 37%. Still 4 times higher than the second highest rated show on AMC. So very, very solid numbers as far as I'm concerned, but they just used to have just amazing expectations. And there's a lot of reasons, as we talked about. I mean, there are people that don't watch the show as much, but the hardcore fans, 8.3 million of them, there's still a lot of good stuff out there to talk about. And Kel and I and a couple of the moderators, we have been talking about what happens after The Walking Dead. I mean, we got a great group, we got a great network. So we're going to throw some different shows out there. Hopefully you guys will get a chance to go over to the the Facebook page and put your thoughts out there. Game of Thrones is something we're going to talk about as it ramps back up 2019. Stranger Things, but any content that you guys want to get together and talk about that we can create a good group that appeals to everybody, definitely get over there and cast your vote, because we want to watch it, talk about it, and really debate it. And not only that, but challenge the writers to plant these Easter eggs and these hidden clues, so we got more stuff to talk about. So let's move on to the next news topic that I saw, and this was actually from, and this ties into this. I'll just use this and kind of let you know where it's from, because it does tie into the ratings. It said that Screen Rant published an article. The first one I had about declining ratings was not Screen Rant, but Screen Rant did one as well, and says that if they keep decreasing like that, no one will be watching the show by 2021. Guess what? The show might not be going on 2021. So I don't think it's got more than 3 seasons, maybe 4 seasons. So believe me, people will still be watching it if they make an announcement it's the last season. But let's be realistic. The show's probably got 3 years left, maybe add another year or two. So take that, Screen Rant. What about comicbook.com? Comicbook.com has made a fortune talking about The Walking Dead and selling advertisements why they talk about The Walking Dead. And they published an article this week and said the end is now. basically telling them to end the show. And they give their top 5 reasons why they need to end the show. And reason number 2 is it's never been good quality. So I'm going to ask the group right now, how do you feel about that comment from a periodical source that's been leeching viewers off talking about The Walking Dead and just out of the blue says it needs to end now because it's never had good quality? I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to read a couple of your comments. So while we're doing that, those of you here tonight, first of all, I want to thank you all for being here on a Friday night. Also, if you're new to the stream, make sure you hit the like button, also subscribe. And just a couple ground rules. As you're typing along the side, people are not going to see that, so I'm going to call on you. And I'm going to talk about what you want to talk about a little bit. We've got about 90 people, 90 additional people here that have not slapped the like button. So if you guys could do me a favor, while we're streaming this thing, go ahead and tap that like button. And just show a little love to the 999 Army. So P Stuff says complete BS. I agree. You know, that's like, you know, a restaurant inviting you in for a free meal and then you saying, this is the worst meal I ever had in my life. It might not be the best meal you had in your life, but you don't have to be a vocal critic of it. So Sandra Reffett says, super chat donation. I'm finally able to jump on live stream more often. I've always played back, though. Peace. First of all, I want to thank you for the super chat donation. Number 2, I want to thank you for being involved in our stream. And number 3, when you can't be involved in the stream, I also want to thank you for watching the playback, because all those things are very important. I'm trying to do as many of these as we can during the season for several reasons, but the main reason being that I know people work and I know they have lives outside of YouTube. So at least if we can do these 5 nights a week, sometimes 6 nights a week, then I can get a time period where everybody can at least jump in and participate. Because that's really, I love the participation, I love the interaction and the feedback. So thank you so much, appreciate that. And OU Crawfish is super chatting your super chat to say thank you and welcome Sandra. So thank you so much for that as well, Crawfish. Appreciate it. And he's one of the hardcore super chatters in this channel. So appreciate you being here and definitely being here on a Friday night. So I've had a little bit of time over the last few days, and this is why I said it's been some kind of week, because one of the common opinions that come out is what people like and what people don't like. So I got to be honest, I'm becoming less tolerant with people that don't like The Walking Dead, that continue to talk about how much they don't like The Walking Dead. So I'll give you that. The first time, you used to be a fan and you're watching the show, and now the show's changed a little bit and you're not really a big fan. But to continue to bitch about the show and say that you don't watch it, but you continue to jump in and complain about the way things are going, you don't have that right anymore. I'm officially vetoing your point of view and taking your right away. If you're watching the show and you have an opinion on it, then you have a right. If you don't watch the show and you're not involved in it anymore, then just don't. Don't waste anybody's time. So moving on. That's my passionate Friday night chat for you guys. Chris Yakubovsky says, no question, I want to say thank you for this channel. Love the insight and community involvement. So thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate that. And that was good timing, because Chris kind of chimed in like right in the middle of my my passionate rant. So there you go. And thank you. I appreciate that. Not saying people don't have a right to an opinion. You definitely have a right to an opinion, but common sense would tell you if I don't care about something, I don't like pizza. I'm not going to run in a Domino's pizza and say, hey, I hate pizza. I'm just not. I'm just going to stay away from it. So what's the point? What's the point of just being antagonistic and just always being on the opposite end just to draw attention to the negativity. There's enough negativity. Let's talk about the positive, and let's talk about ways to make it a little bit better. So Crawfish in the house again and says, took a break from Walking Dead Road to Survival War to stream. Crawfish, I've gotten a lot of requests to play Road to Survival, and I'm glad you took a break. So wars are still going on. I've not even opened the app in a while, and you guys know I think I was the first person to stream the game when it came out, but it changed a lot. But let me tell you this. Here, you know what? Perfect example. Case and point. OU Crawfish says he took a break from Walking Dead Road to Survival to watch this stream. I used to play Road to Survival, and I streamed it, and I played it quite a bit. But the thing is, I don't play it. So I'm going to reserve a lot of my feelings toward the game. The game may be getting better. It may not be getting better. In fact, someone from the game was, they were upset about something with the way the game was going, and they reached out to me and asked me if I would do a video and talk about it. And I said I cannot because I'm not playing the game right now. So it would be hypocritical for me to kind of jump on and do that. That's just my feeling for that. All right, I'm going to get a couple more breaking news, because here's the fun thing with doing breaking news is I can give you an article, we can talk about it, and then there's probably like 50 other things that we can get sidetracked and talk about. I was getting ready to do another one, and then super chat. You know, I got to read it, right? Sith Lord says, it's peanut butter and jelly time. Peanut butter and jelly time. Yes, it is. All right, I'm going, see. Is that Brian McCann says, Kills. Would you ever cover Talking Dead for Chris? You could totally do it too. Chris makes a lot of money. Yeah, I would. Yeah, of course I would cover it. If they reach out, and you know what I want. Here's the job I'm holding out for. Is I want to replace the guy that has the really wicked voice on all the horror movie ads. And it's kind of like Stranger Things, March 2nd, in theaters now. You might not know who I'm talking about, but if you'll now that I've said it, you'll pay attention to him. It's very kind of in the background, and it's a unique voice. But when he goes, I want whoever his agent is to call me, because I definitely want that role. I want that gig. So even if it's Black Panther in theaters now, go watch it. Don't forget, it's doing really well. And just, I'll probably add too much to it. All right, but thank you for that. Good question, good comment, and I would definitely be interested in covering it, or even doing a. You know, if Walking Dead called me and said, "Hey, we want you to be our official podcaster of The Walking Dead," I would certainly do it. Call me, Scott. You know where I'm at. And no, Chris. You know what, Chris? Most of us have forgotten about the 360, except for the people that have permanent vertigo because of that video. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I put everybody through that last night. And I'm glad I deleted it, because if you weren't here for the stream that got deleted, I was like a 5-year-old kid for real, because I didn't know what happened, but I just couldn't take my eyes off of playing with the screen. Hey, Valar is in the house. Thank you so much. Part of the 999 Army and all the moderators, so thank you so much. They do a great job. And Zay Johnson, if Scott's your uncle, you tell him to hook me up. I'm here. I'm here for him. And also tell him, no matter what happens, I will hold on to that anchor and I will go down with the ship. Because I believe in the show. I was a late adopter to the show. I didn't start watching it season number 1. I've read over 100 issues of the comics because of all of you, because you guys have requested I do that, and I appreciate it. I binge watched it and really got caught up fast. I think I started watching around 4, 5, something like that. But certainly. All right, I've got a couple more articles that I want to talk about, and it is the Hollywood Reporter says that Negan was sad, and there was a tribute, like Negan did one similar to Andy Lincoln, where he wanted to say goodbye to Carl. He was sad that the Carl Negan story didn't develop further. And I think that's valid, and I think that would be a fair argument. But he works for AMC, so, I mean, he's not going to bash the show. And I think that's the perspective that I have. Wasn't Carl's biggest fan. Didn't hate Carl. I was always neutral. You guys know where I've stood on Carl. But disappointed that we don't get to see that story, at least some of that story. And I get it. You know, they can take it in a different direction from the comic if they want to. It's their show. But I would have liked to seen that. And I would have liked to seen Carl get into that. But let me give a little bit of pushback. When Carl did the scene, I'm going to ask this. This is a rhetorical question. How many people remember very vividly Carl jumping out of the back of the truck and trying to shoot Negan? Not just if you remember it, but if you're like, yeah. Because I need to put you in the moment, just for a minute. And I don't have the exact quote of what he said when he jumped out. But it was, I'm going to ad-lib it. I could go back and watch it. So people are saying, of course. And he jumped out and he says, I'm just here to kill Negan. He killed my friends. He got a lot of hate from that. A lot. I remember people talking about how bad the acting was and how corny it was and how it was not even close to how badass it was in the comic. I only want Negan. So I didn't think it was epic on the TV show. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. But there was a lot of Twitter hate about how bad he did that. And I see some of you saying, yeah, I do kind of agree with that. So let me ask you now, since you remember it's fresh in your mind, and I did remind you that it was not a very popular scene for him to do. Timothy Young says he thought it was pretty cool. Okay, I'm not judging it. I'm neutral on the scene, as I am with Carl. So what were your thoughts of that? Paris said the direction and dialogue could have been better. Deborah thought it was good. I'm just curious because in going back to that, and what I'm wondering is because of the lashback and because of the negativity around that, could you see Carl in a leading role? Okay, some people are saying it didn't bother me. So let's transition that. Could you see Carl doing what Rick does right now? Because I don't know. I really don't. There's such powerful characters that, like Daryl. I mean, Daryl could be a lead. Rick could be a lead. If there's no Daryl Dixon in the comic books. So I understand that people want... I don't agree when people say that they killed Carl to keep Negan on the show. Is it possible? I hate to do this. I really hate to do this. It's like you bring up this guy's name and you just get in a whole lot of trouble. Is it possible that Daryl's the reason why Carl does not have a job? That as long as you have Daryl, do you really need Carl? Just a little food for thought. I know the hardcore Carl fans are going to say, yes, you do. But I'm just trying to stay neutral and just ask a question to sort of get you thinking a little bit with some of the news that's out there, because it does tie up. So Josh says Negan has such a huge fan base. He does. And I do think that we talked a little bit about this last night, how Negan can attract more of a fan base in the future. There are going to be some people that always want him gone. Just want to throw that out there as a point. So I saw someone typed a little bit ago, it might have been Lindsay. I think it might have been Lindsay Luke. But then the question came up is, can the show survive without Maggie and Michonne? Yes, the show can survive. Will it lose viewers? Yes. Will it lose some more popularity? Yes, it will. But as I started, I think I touched on this. One of the articles that came out today is that everyone is signed for season 9 except for Maggie, except for Lauren. So Denai is signed. Now, the question that's going to come up is, could she leave the show? Absolutely she could leave the show, but she can also do movies and be on the show. And I think she's in the moment, she has that attachment. Now, this Black Panther franchise is going to pay her a lot of money. Probably a lot more money than she'll make on The Walking Dead. But for some actors, it's not all about money. They like doing the role, and they, people see them in that role and they have an attachment. And I will say, from her perspective, some of the things that I've seen her tweet out and some of her calls, I don't think she's just about money. I'm really going to throw that out there. Now, she ain't going to work for free, but I don't think that's what drives her and motivates her. I really think her role in that show, she plays it well, and she's a badass. But the show can survive long term with everybody, I think, except for Rick and except for Daryl. I mean, leaving the show. I think Rick and Daryl, what I mean is Rick and Daryl kind of untouchable. Everybody else is going to be a struggle. It's going to be a process. I do think Daryl leaves the show, there's going to be a whole lot of fans that turn it off. Rick leaves the show, then people are going to question, well, who's he passing the torch to? So I do think they need to continue to pay the two of them. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a teaser, because as we talk about the news, I have been thinking about the writing. And I have been thinking about where all of this went wrong. And I do have a single point in time where the writing got too much to handle. You might not agree with me, and it's okay. You don't have to agree with me. But on Sunday, when we do the Walking Dead Junkies, it is a brand new stream that we're doing. We're doing it every Sunday. Last Sunday was the first one. And it really is about past events, present situations, and future dilemmas. And I'm going to touch on something that's a very dark place for me. And I'm going to go back to Season 7, Episode 1. Shan, are you reading my mind? Do you have my notes here? Or did I talk about this last night? This is scary. I don't go back to that episode a whole lot. But on Sunday, we are going to break it down and we're going to talk about it. The writers got themselves in trouble by making Negan kill 2 people and rub it in everybody's face, because it did not translate to television the same way as it translated on the comics. So Sunday, we're really going to break that down and get into it, the psychology and what the writers were trying to do and how it happened, because based on that, you got to pin a lot of that. If you want to be in the moment, Negan said, don't move, and Daryl moved. So if you're going to pin it on a character action, you really do have to say, Daryl, I know you wanted to protect the group, and I know you wanted to but you moved and you got Glenn killed, if that is the way it was going to play out. Now that's from a character standpoint. And Daryl is forgiven and Daryl is loved because he was trying to do the right thing, but the reality is maybe Glenn wouldn't have died. Now, let's take it out of character mode. I'm not blaming Daryl because I have to ultimately look at the writers. But killing Abraham, if they would have killed Abraham and said, there you go, now we're even, guys, pack it up, let's get out of here, then those of us that hate Negan, like hate Negan, will never forgive him, I would have validated and rationalized and said, okay, Rick killed a lot of his men. It was gruesome the way he did it, but he only killed 1 person and he walked away. But when he killed him, then he put the bat in Rosita's face, and then he didn't take it out on Daryl, who wanted to die, and killed someone else that was innocent, the most innocent person there, and then tortured Rick, and then was going to cut Carl's arm off. So he did all of those things, and I can't get it out of my mind, but that writing of how evil they made him dug the biggest hole in the world for them to try to fill up that hole, and they're filling it up with a bunch of crap in order to get us to accept it, and they're making these characters flip-flop and become liars and do all these things because that moment is what really turned it. They needed to introduce Negan, and they needed to be big, and they needed him to be a badass, and they needed people to fear him, but they overdid it. They did it way too far. Should have just been Glenn killed, or, you know what I would have loved to see? Kill Abraham. Abraham's my favorite. Didn't want him to die. Love Abraham. Kill Abraham, though. Change it from the comic. If you want to deviate from the comic, do not give Glenn that iconic death. Let Glenn live. Let him still be at Hilltop right now. I'd be okay with that. Kill Abraham, or vice versa. But that's where I think it went wrong. OU Crawfish says, Glenn should have been the only one killed. I miss Abe. I can agree with that. I can say one or the other, or somebody totally different in the lineup. Yeah, we're going to show that one because that is a great Abeism. I'm not going to block you on that. No, Lindsay, I don't agree. And we disagree a lot. Abraham's got a more honorable death. I don't think Glenn's death was needed to start all-out war. I think all-out war could have been sparked 100 different ways. You know, at the time that it was said that Glenn's death it needed to happen because the comic book fans wouldn't have accepted it, and it had to be that way, and it had to be iconic. But if you're going to deviate from the comics at some point anyway, you could have had several things that could have started all-out war. So I don't think both those deaths were needed. And because I'm looking at the problem with that. If they didn't kill two of them, and they didn't do it in a violent manner like they did on television, I do think that there's hope for accepting Negan a little bit quicker, moving on to the next storyline. Because it is going to be harder to do that. And like I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. This is not going to be solved tonight, but I wanted to tease this tonight as we talked about breaking news. So if you really want to get into a deep psychological conversation about Negan and about the deaths and about what could have happened, be here Sunday at noon. The Walking Dead Junkies, brand new thing that we're doing. So, hey, Chris Hardwick's got Talking Dead. Other people got their thing. We got the Walking Dead Junkies because we're going to put on the gloves, fight about it, argue about it, get our opinions out there. But we're gonna have some fun with it as well. So I don't know if I touched on this a little bit earlier, but the last little piece of news, and I did want to close with this little bit of news, is that Gimple is confident that they're making progress with Lauren Cohan, and I think they will, because here's if he's saying they're confident, then I think even if she gets another job, they will have her pull double duty. She'll do the pilot, she'll do the show, and she'll negotiate something that is reasonable for The Walking Dead. And if she's planning on leaving The Walking Dead, then it may not come down to money. So if he's confident, I think she sticks around, and I think she's written into the story, and we won't have to deal with that. So hopefully you guys are excited to talk about that, because I felt better about it, I guess, as I sort of unwound and started to think, like, why, if I was a writer and I've got these people that are leaving the show and they don't like this and the story's a little bit weird, the first thing I have to do in order to fix it, I can't just kill Carl and keep killing and killing and killing to fix it. The first thing that I have to do is I got to go back and identify why. So when people say something like, could Maggie and Michonne leave? No. The show will survive, but no, you can't kill both of them because you've already killed Glenn and Abraham. So you can't keep killing people to solve a war. You can't kill Carl to solve a war. You can, and you did, but there was other ways to do that. That's my point. So we're 33 minutes. This is where I wanted to be. It is a Friday night. I know you guys got a few hours left on your Friday night. Be safe tonight. Don't do anything crazy. Not going to say don't text and drive, but you shouldn't do that. Don't sneeze with your eyes open. There you go. That'll be my catchphrase. I don't know. I got to come up with my own little tagline. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody being here. Your thoughts, your input, your interaction is just phenomenal. Thanks for I know not everybody. Some people think that 999 Gaming is only about spoilers, and it is not. There's a big misperception out there about what we do and our family and our interaction. And I'm going to tell you, to be perfectly honest, I wish there were no spoilers out there. We do them because they're out there and we talk about them, because if you're going to get them from somewhere, you might as well get them from here, and we'll incorporate them into our show. But I really like doing the predictions and the speculations on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday without a cheat sheet, and then comparing the cheat sheet at the end and sort of looking at everything. So just get the word out there. This is an awesome group. We'd love to have more people there, but just don't want a negative connotation around. People from the outside looking in don't really know what we're about and don't really know what we're doing. So those of you that are here, that enjoy it and are part of this, I can't thank you enough. So thank you so much. I will not be here tomorrow night. I don't do streams on Saturday night, but I will be back at 12 o'clock noon Sunday with the Walking Dead Junkies, and we're going to talk about Glenn Abraham. We're going to talk about the writing, and of course, Sunday night at 8 o'clock we'll do our Walking Dead countdown, and then after Talking Dead, we will do our reaction video. Thank you once again. If you're watching the playback, this is the closing credits. You are free to go. If you're still here, which most of you are, give me a quick 999, and I am going to give as many shout-outs as I possibly can. And if I ever miss you in a shout-out, don't hate me. I'll catch you in the next one. Send me a message on Kit, K-I-L-Z-H-O-T, and say, look, man, it's been 3 live streams and you forgot my damn name, and I'll catch you. Or leave your comments below, and I'll catch you with that as well, too. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you being here. So, Brianne, Timothy Young, Monica McNutt, Steph the Cuervo Queen Richardson, Lord of Starfall, Emmy Desiree Bacon, Kel Says Smile, Tommy Sweetass Enforcer McCandless, Michelle Wolf, OU Crawfish. Thanks to everybody with Super Chat donations. Also, you guys can see in purple on the left side of the screen, all my Patreon supporters that support the 909 channel. Thank you so much. And, of course, everybody here. All of you guys support the channel because you're here and you're involved and just doing a lot of stuff to keep this thing rolling. Arena Hunter, Dylan Allen, Sandra Wiley, Joey Lemons, Brian Chitwood, Gina Crockett, Armando Rodriguez, Joshua Fett, what's up, my man? Diane Estes, Northside Queen, Walani, Natalie, is that Natalie? DJ, what's up, DJ? Sith Lord, DDA Ohio, Stephen Mendez, Brian Clayton, what's up, Brian Clayton? 999, baby. Old One-Eyed Carl, Sandra Riffett, Brene, thank you for being here, Brene. Trev Heath, Shannon M., who was looking at my cheat sheets. I saw you over there, Shannon. Thank you so much, man. Steven, thank you for being here. Eric Vance, I missed you, I think, a couple streams, Eric, but I'm going to catch you tonight. Valar, thank you so much. Have a good Friday night. Appreciate you throwing a super chat in there in the closing credits. Lindsay Luke, thank you so much. Always have a great time with you here. Appreciate your input and your constant debate. Melinda Kettler, thank you for being here. Jake Turgeon, thank you so much, Jake. Madam Traber, thank you, Madam. Tanner Patterson, thank you. You have a blessed night as well. Maggie Bonacorda, thank you. Always a pleasure to have you here. Pat Sanzone, thank you so much. Hey, bring the cat. I stream for people. Cats, you know what? I stream for anybody that'll stop and listen, so it's all good. Tell your cat I said what's up. Whitney Hernandez, thank you for being here. Holly Pierce, thank you, Holly. And as I'm doing the closing streams, anybody still here, somebody give me the weirdest place that you're streaming this video from. I want to know, you don't have to tell me where you're at, but if you got something really cool like, hey, I'm at a ball game or something, type it in chat right now. I'll read a couple of the comments of where you guys are streaming this from. Joshua Congdon, thanks for being here. Dan's Reviews, thanks for being here. What's up, Wayne? Good to see you. Rubelo's channel, thank you. I know there's a couple of people like at a restaurant or at a bar right now streaming this. Tommy V from work. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, hopefully to make the work day just go a little bit more smooth. Dylan is at the Empire State Building. Maggie in her studio. Trev Heath in the bathtub. What's up? That's what I'm talking about. How many people? you guys are cracking me up. Holly's in the car. At the airport. Okay. So we got airport. We got in the car. We got a few people in the bathtub. Wiggy's like in the shower. Okay. Living room. Eating some chicken for supper. Sounds good. Some people streaming from bed. And that is a great way to close our Friday night. So once again, thank you, everybody. Appreciate everything that you guys do. And I will talk to you all Sunday at noon. Peace.